my God.
John, what's up, man? How many days you out today?
Oh man, 8. Tomorrow 7. So I'll say 7 and some change. Today's leg day. I hate leg day, but I got my wonderful family with me. My daughter, say what's up. She tired, man. Like I dragged her to this. I have my wife with me. She's here, so I dragged them into this just to give y'all again a deeper look into me and who supports me, who's behind me, my reasons why, my purpose, and how we clash.
So I got a question. So they say bodybuilding is a real selfish sport, right? And so I want to ask your wife, is that true or is that just a myth?
It definitely is true, only because the amount of work it takes and dedication. So the waking up early, the going to bed late, like he has his own routine and separate from ours. We have our bedtime, he has his, and even times where our schedule doesn't even match on the weekends because he has to do his things. So, but that's just part of the game.
So basically you get all the early morning alarms.
No, I don't even sleep in the same room, so I don't have to hear the early morning alarms.
Yeah, man, she sleeps in a room with her. I've been sleeping alone for a minute, which, I mean, we get it because we got to do whatever it is for her. But like she said, man, I'm waking up at 4 o'clock every morning to do cardio. I'm here in the gym late. I be missing her bedtime. I miss family arrangements. I miss a lot of stuff trying to get prepared for this show, man. So this moment specifically matters a lot because typically they don't be in the gym with me. So they took time out of their day. I've heard gymnastics schedule to kind of just, be here with me and support, man. The support is heavy, but when I'm in prep, we rarely see each other, so it's tough.
Yeah, so, and then how is that dynamic? Because, I mean, on one side, right, like you're showing a lot of people that, you know what, the excuses about, what you eat, what your family eats, right? A lot of people will use that as an excuse, right? Say, oh man, well, my family isn't supportive, they don't eat what I eat, blah, 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 things like that. How do you guys work out that dynamics? And I want to hear from you, John, like first, like how do you deal with that? Because of course, like you don't want to take what your family does and, their food choices and all that. You don't want to take that away from them. So how do you balance that?
Well, honestly, there is no balance, man. Like, I'll give you an example. We just threw a party for her birthday. She just turned 5. How old you turn? 5? Say 5.
5.
So we threw a big party for her at the park. My mom and dad, well, her mom and dad, I call her mom and dad as well. They had all the cultural food, and she made all the good stuff, the snacks, and then there's pizza, and then there's all these good things. And you know what I had to do? I had to drive 15 minutes away to her parents' house to go warm up my food, eat, come back to the party. So that sucks to do that. Honestly, it really does. But there is no balance in it. Like, my wife loves to bake. She could tell you, like, we had our baking business, our cookie business. She loves to cook for me. So like me being in prep takes that away. So you can ask her how that feels. But for me, there is no balance because I always have to say no. I always have to tell her mom, no, I can't have this. No, I can't have that. And they always want to feed me. I love them for that. But there is no balance for that. And then you can ask her how she feels about that because I know it bothers her a lot.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I don't like going on dates, I'll tell you that, because I feel like, okay, I'm eating, I get to order what I want to eat, and then he's over here eating like whatever his prep food is. So even going out to family gatherings, I have to explain, like, leave him alone. He has his own stuff going on. Like, because they want to repeatedly ask, right? So, as far as baking, we stay baking. If you eat it, cool. If you don't, I'll bake again when you can. So, we don't stop at this household just because he's on prep anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that's. So what kind of things? What about you? What kind of things you miss eating with your dad?
What kind of things you miss eating with me?
Pizza.
Or what's one of the your most favorite things to share with your dad?
Say go on daddy daughter dates. Yeah?
Sorry.
Say it again.
I'm sorry.
Playing sorry. What about food? What do you like to eat? Pizza. Speak louder.
Pizza.
Pizza. Yeah. My last show, she kept asking me about pizza, so I made sure that was the first thing we ate after my last show was pizza. So, yeah, I miss it too, honestly. So she's been killing food lately, so that's why she's tired. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough for real.
Yeah, I bet. And as far as like all that aside, the diet, the food, and everything, like, how do you feel watching your husband put himself through what he puts himself through, and like the sense of pride and everything? How does that make you feel towards him, though?
I would say it's going on, what, about 6 years that we started? So when he initially started, I was pregnant, so I didn't care for none of it. I think that's the hormones talking, but it is what it is, right? So then over the years, talking to his coaches, talking to his peers who was also in the bodybuilding, I think I have a better understanding of the sport and the level of determination, dedication it takes. Because yeah, initially it was irritating, like, what time are you coming home? What are we doing? Can we do something this weekend? It was like always a ask, but now it's almost like, okay, once you're done, then we'll ask. We just kind of, it's sad, but we plan, me and her just do our thing. And when he's available, he chimes in, and we just have to understand. Like when he's off prep, he'll be back and we can do things as a family. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way right now. And honestly, the best, but you have to understand. You know,
I struggle with that, man. Like,
he's a pro athlete. I don't have a choice. Like that, it sucks to put it that way, but that is what it is. I do not have a choice but to understand, because once he signs up for a show, he signed up for a show. It's game, right? So at that point, you just kind of go through the motions and make it to that game day, pretty much.
Yeah. And would you say, I don't know if you guys want to share, like, how has this, in the last 6 years, how has all this and being able to, like you said, there's no such thing as balance, but even just working through things, how has that made you guys stronger, though?
Like previously you said, prideful. I think I'm very prideful to see him on stage. And mostly when he levels up with these big old people, and you know, all day he's showing me pictures
showing your
of
cartwheels.
other individuals that are going up against him, or they might be in the same criteria, and we're assessing. So I have learned an expertise over the years of, I guess, checking out other athletes and being able to say, like, okay, you got to work on this area because he's looking more, I don't have the proper definitions of how to define it, but he might be more like masculine on the chest, or his back is more defined. So I can tell him, like, but my word is, he looks like he has a cloud on his back. He laughs because I don't know what the proper way to state what that is. But I tell him, like, okay, you're flat. You need to work those areas to define all the different muscles more, right? So I think even when he has his athletes, I'm going to those shows. Even the girls, I'm like, you gotta glide. You too fast. Or you know what I mean? Like, you're carrying something. Or it just, I think going with him, I also learned the sports. You know what I mean? So it's cool to me. I don't, at this point, it doesn't bother me to be like, okay, when it's his time, it's his time. Because when he's done off prep, he is home. He is with us. We are doing activities. We're planning holiday things. So it's coming, you know? So that's something we have to look forward to.
Yeah.
I would say initially it was like a separation because it's like I'm morphed into a different world, right? Where I'm used to being free, eating free. Like I said, she wasn't pregnant before I started, right? So we were pretty much free spirits. She gets pregnant, and then I decided to start this journey, and then it was almost like a separation happening because she's turning into a new person, I'm turning into a new person, and it's like, okay, how do we find our way back, in a sense? So luckily, we have, clinical backgrounds where we can have open discussions and, have the dialogue about, okay, this is what I see what's wrong. This is what I see what's right. This is where I see where we're going. And over time, she's kind of morphed into my world. I became more understanding and empathetic as far as the stuff that she has to go through, when I'm in prep. So now we're pretty much on one accord, man. And I'm excited to, get this show under my belt in about 7 days, 7 and 14 days. We got 2 of them back to back. They're coming with me to the second one. So that I get excited when they come because the last time they came, I turned pro. So when they travel with me, so I'm excited, man.
That's cool. That's cool. And what are you guys looking forward to after prep?
All the
I'll let you
holiday stuff.
And me, besides food,
Honestly, family time.
Yeah.
He's never home.
that,
You know
man,
what I mean?
like, I get so busy and engulfed in this rigorous schedule. Like, no, I gotta get this workout in. I gotta wake up at 4. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. All those got tos, majority of them go away, right? So now I get extra time to be around Aaliyah, go to her gymnastics, or me and her go to the Lavender Festival that we're gonna go to, or take a Disneyland trip, or whatever the case. Life shouldn't stop when you're in prep, but again, balance, right? It does for some, it does for some, it doesn't. So I've been learning as I go. I could do a lot better, but I'm looking forward to just being free with my family and having that time, man.
And then what advice would you give to another wife or partner that is maybe barely starting in this journey, or what's something that you've learned along this journey? I know you mentioned and you threw in a lot of nuggets, but what's something that you would say to that newlywed wife or that partner where
Aaliyah.
their partner is barely starting this journey of bodybuilding? What would be the biggest advice that you would give to them?
Communication. Asking what the sport is, why this sport, how does this work, why do you have to do, I ask 50 million questions, he'll tell you, because I'm asking why you have to take this, why you have to do this. Or when he's going through some issues due to food changes or even mood changes, right? When towards the end in prep, like I have to be like, bring it down. Because it's because he's hungry, he's thirsty, like just, it's a drastic measure at the end, right? And so it took time. I would definitely say initially I was like, I don't even want to be around you because you're snappy. But now I understand, like, okay, this is because everything else you got going on, it's not intentional. But we only came to understand that because we talked about it. Right? We talked about it, but I love all his coaches, all his peers, his athletes. I'm like involved with all of them, right? So even seeing their journey and their tweaks and changes, asking coach, his coach is very invested with the whole family. So even like her explaining things, that made a huge difference. So but owning it, right? It's like I'm married to a pro athlete. It took a minute to grasp that in my head. Like, okay, that means I also have to represent, right? So that's that part, right? I can't just show up and not show out. I have to. So that type of mentality. So we had to grow to it. Initially, I was like, have fun. You know what I mean? But now I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out my schedule to be present. You know, if he needs to, if he's flying out, I'm like, let me see what we can work out with the baby schedule, my schedule, and his. Because sometimes it works for him, it doesn't work for us. And you know, that means getting off school for this one, getting off work for me. So it's like, okay, what's out of all the shows you're gonna do, which is the biggest one? That's where we want to be, right? So it's just kind of calculating, making sure, yeah, would he love us to be in every single one of them? Probably. But is that even a possibility? Probably not, because we can't have that much missed work or school, depending on how many shows he's trying to do a year. So it's just honestly all based down to talking about it. And yes, we're gonna have some good talks. There may be some talks where we both turn up irritated. It's okay. It's okay. Tomorrow's a new day, and we process it, and we come back like, okay, this is what we got to do, and you know, come up with a game plan to what it entails to support, right? So that would be the biggest thing. Yes, there's gonna be a lot of rough patches. I'm not even gonna lie, but come back to it. Don't just be like, okay, I'm mad, and we gonna hold a grudge for however long your prep is, because then it's not gonna work out.
See?
So it's definitely come back to a new day, a new conversation, and figure it out.
Just staying unified, man. It's so easy to grow apart without bodybuilding. It's so easy to grow apart. Add that into the mix, and it becomes even easier. But staying unified, staying in control, being empathetic, putting myself in her shoes, vice versa. And again, man, the communication part is the key. Like, I tell her everything, how I feel, what I'm going through, certain things I don't like. Like, whatever it is I'm going through, like, I lay it on her shoulder just so she's aware. So, because if I'm acting away or feeling away and she doesn't know, she may think it's her and it's not, because it's never her. So it's just one of those things where you gotta have open communication for sure. So she said it right, for sure. Yeah. So 2016, hooping, what I love to do, hoop dreams, came down wrong, blew my whole knee out. ACL, PCL, MCL, meniscus, popliteus, everything gone. So ever since then, I've had this fear of this machine specifically blowing my knee out. Anytime I squat, anything. So that's why I really don't train for heavy weight, because that fear is always in the back of my mind. That doesn't scare me from lifting, don't get me wrong. That's why my form has to be A1, because anytime I'm doing this, I get that vision of my knee just, and being in rehab, and I don't care what no one say, rehab is harder than anything, bro. When you have to learn how to walk again, like literally teach yourself how to walk, it's the most humblest thing ever. So I never want to go through that again. I pray for anybody that's blown out a knee, Achilles, anything. And I heard Achilles is worse. So yeah, I pray every time, every rep I'm under this, that God saves my knee. And so far we good. All right, last thing I'm gonna show y'all is this leg press. I'm cool on this one. I don't get no visions on this one. Oh, my legs feel that. Again, quads is the focus. Oh, that mess hurt. All that damn squeezing. Oh, you gonna come back over here too? Okay. I don't know how you squeeze that. There you go. I almost cried saying this because I was like, yo, I don't remember prep being this hard. I don't know if it's hard because like I want it so bad or my body hurts or whatever it is, but this is very hard. And I've been having a hard time conceptualizing that up until 45 days ago when I started devoting my time with God, where when it becomes hard, I just gotta look up or pray or do something in relation to him where, okay, he's gonna see me through this. It's still hard, don't get me wrong, but he's not gonna put me in no position where I'm not gonna be successful. He's not. All this is like, prep is like, we're preparing. Like when you go through struggles, trials, and tribulations, he's preparing you for something greater. So me going through prep and struggling, this gotta mean something. Like, it gotta mean something. So I can't do no worse than what I did on my pro debut. My pro debut, I finished last. Anything 16th and under is last. I don't feel like I can do no worse than that. When I signed up to be with Cuts, it was to get me to that next level. And based off what he told me last, I feel like we've gotten there. I just got to do 7 more days of work. That's it. And follow the game plan and just stay on my path with God, man. And I feel like I'll be all right. There's nothing he's not going to give me that I can't handle. So